So you were at the VIS and then you decided to pack up your life and relocate to Queensland. It's a pretty big life move. How old were you when you don't have to, you can go into as much depth as you want. What made you head up and move your life to the Sunshine State?
Sunshine Coast. Yeah, so I moved to Queensland in the end of 2017, 2018, kind of in between there. And I mean, yeah, I moved following a boy, which was great. And then, yeah, so I moved up there and then we both played sport up there. So he's an avid rugby player. And yeah, and so I guess that's why I moved. And then it's really amazing. There's, we're all in one country, but there's two very different, or three, very different styles of hockey.
Yep.
So it was crazy moving up there. And, VIS is super structured, run and gun. Like, I learned how to work really hard. And then I probably learned more about how to finesse up in Queensland and, the ability to take risk and to have a crack. And, they play probably, a more attacking style. So it was a really good balance between the two. And so it was great to have, I guess I got the benefits of going through two different programs.
What was it like moving out of home for the first time, and what were the best and worst things about Brisbane when you first rolled in?
Yeah, look, I really like how Melbourne is flat, and I used to ride my push bike everywhere. But then going to Queensland, it was very hilly. And I remember that, the first day I got there, someone was like, whatever you do, because it's the middle of summer, don't run after 8 in the morning. And I was like, nah, I'll be fine. So I, 11 o'clock decided to go for a jog. And I was like, probably got a cane and then was like, okay, I understand why people don't run in the middle of the day. So I ended up just walking to a coffee shop, getting an iced latte and walking home. Yeah, the heat is crazy up there.
Well, hopefully you're getting used to it, Meg, by spending that time in Brisbane and then being in Darwin and all of that sort of thing. Are you a qualified personal trainer?
Yeah, so
right?
Pardon?
Did I read that right?
Yeah, you did. So when I finished school, I decided to do an arts degree and then do personal training at the same time. And so I became a personal trainer and I worked in that for a few years. And then I ended up doing a double degree at uni. So now I work in marketing at EY. And so I guess I've taken a step back from personal training, but it's definitely one of my favorite jobs because it is so social and helping people achieve their goals.
Being social as well. I mean, high performance environment comes with just having to be really, I guess, strict in terms of your fitness and nutrition and well-being and all this sort of stuff. Is this something you've always, I guess, had an interest in throughout? You seem very fit and you take a lot of pride in, I guess, a lot of interest in what you put in your body and how you, how fit you are. I feel like people tell me that you love to just run yourself into the ground. Has that always been a big piece?
Yeah. Definitely the case. My dad was always like, you can never, ask to get subbed off. You just have to stay on the field. So I was like, okay. So I remember playing one game against my dad and I copped his backswing and split my teeth went through my lip. And he was like, you can't go off the field, Meg. And so I just had blood pouring down my chin, being like, okay, I have to stay on the field. So it's definitely, taught me, how far we can push our body. And I think personally, health and fitness, I love pushing myself to the limits, but I also know that fueling myself is super important. So I guess being at uni and studying commerce and nutrition, and then, having the personal training side, it taught me how to balance my food and what to eat and how to go about it. And so it definitely gave me that desire to learn more. But I think from a young age, my dad was into Ironman. So my dad's done 9 Ironmans and my mum does marathons. So she, travels around the world and she'll go and do Barcelona Marathon or, Paris Marathon. And so I guess from a young age, and I started at the VIS as well when I was 14, food has always played a massive, massive role in, I guess, the output of your performance, but also in injury prevention and how we, recover and respond to things. So yeah, I definitely, if you don't eat well, it's very hard to be really good at what you want to do.
So for an average Joe like me, if there was one bit of advice that you'd give just to, I guess, give you a bit more up and about, what would it be?
Yeah, look, always have your veg and your fruit. But yeah, like for me, it's more after games or after trainings, always making sure you have your calcium. And so, I'll sit there after games and trainings with, a little yogurt pouch just to smash it out. And some of the girls will have up and goes, which is delicious. So it's just a personal preference, but just making sure you get enough stuff so you can repeat and recover for the next day.
Are you inspired to go and run a marathon following the footsteps of your mum at some point?
Yeah, so so Dad does Ironman. So I know you're not really meant to do this, but I used to just do the marathon with him at the end. So I'd run up a little high and run ahead. And I did it in my trackies and my Vans. So yeah, I definitely would love to do just a straight marathon, but I think, once hockey's over, I definitely go into the full Ironman and just give it a crack and see how I go.
What would be your favourite leg in terms of Ironman? Do you enjoy the water and getting to the beach and all that sort of side of it, or?
Yeah, look, I'm probably more of a rock in the swim, but I don't mind a float. But probably what I would like the best is the bike. I think, playing hockey in winter, you often have more off time in summer. And so the bike is definitely my favorite. I feel like it's less output and you still get, the wind in your hair and on your face. And so I really enjoy that side of it.
Yeah. And so what do you, since you moved to Perth, hockey takes up a lot of your time, and you said you work for Ernst & Young too in a marketing capacity, which is great that you're able to do that from over there as well. But what else do you enjoy doing off the field, I guess, as downtime and to relax a bit and get your mind away from it?
Yeah, so I think because I'm working quite a few hours, my days are actually quite structured in terms of I'll go to training, come home and work, and then go back to training. But around that, I really enjoy just going to the beach. So normally on the way home from gym or the way home from an on-field session, I'll swing by the beach and try and recover as much as I can, but also just really take in what's around me. And probably that's where I stop and think a bit more. And then around that, love like a good coffee and going exploring. As you said, I haven't been in Perth for long. So there's a lot of things to see, like going to Rottnest and all of that. So I'm probably more of an outdoorsy person. Like you won't find me sitting down unless I'm working. But yeah, so in Perth, there's a lot to see and a lot to explore.
And so what are one of the favourite places that you've been to, whether you've holidayed or just been to that you really loved, like Rottnest or anywhere you've been?
Yeah. So I love Rottnest. I just wish I was there for a bit longer. I only did like a half day and I wish I got the whole way around the island. But I will definitely be taking my parents there when they finally come and visit. And then around that, I would also love to go down to Margaret River Mall. We had a camp in Busselton and then a few of us stayed on. And so that was an amazing experience, and just the natural beauty. I mean, it's everywhere, but Perth has it pretty good.
Good endorsement. You should be running their tourism ads.
Sign me up.
Hey, speaking of your family, so before you headed to Perth, you managed to be able to get from Brisbane down to Melbourne to spend Christmas and catch up with them before you relocated across. And I know we chatted about it around that time, but the Pearce family have a really unique and I think it's a wonderful Christmas tradition. Can you give us a bit of an insight into how that all started and what that involves?
Yeah, so each Christmas, my mum's side of the family, and we normally have a few extras, so they'll end up about 50 to 60 of us all around. We normally, because it's such a big group, we actually hire out a venue, so it changes every year, and it's always themed. So, my grandparents were originally from Tassie, so we had, a Tassie party where everything was salmon Tassie, wine from Tassie, all of that kind of stuff. And then we have like kids games where it's like, so like another year we'll have kids games and you'll do like pass the parcel, you'll do, sack races, you'll do all of that. And so the whole thing is just getting everyone involved. You do musical chairs, but yeah, every year is themed and every year is something different. And so the Christmas just gone, we did surf lifesaving. So it was really fun. We got out and we did, flags, we did all of the surf life-saving games and we all sit down together, and that's just a tradition that we've always had, but it also just gets everyone involved and you meet lots of people because everyone wants to come and chat and join in with what the family's doing. So, last Christmas Eve, we had, people sitting on the steps and getting involved and joining in. So it ends up being going from 60 to maybe 70 or 80 because everyone wants to have some fun.
So you even get random punters just coming in and asking.
Oh, 110%. 110%.
Well, that's great. It must be, your mum must take a lot of pride in organising this. She already giving you a glimpse of what you're going to be doing next or this year, or?
Oh, no, there's no glimpse. Normally it all comes out in like Christmas in July. We plan
Right.
for like the actual Christmas, but it's just so fun because everyone's involved. Like, you know, we have a few teachers in the family, so they'll run some individual games, or yeah, we have some great cooks. So the food's always incredible.
Going back to the hockey quickly, how much are you looking forward to debuting for your country? And I mean, you get a little bit itchy just thinking of how close you are, but I mean, just what it would mean to you to run out and play for the Hockeyroos.
Yeah, like I think long term to be able to do that would be the greatest honor, I guess. And so, you know, I try not get too caught up or think too far ahead and just enjoy what I'm doing. But there'd be no greater feeling than running out with all of your best mates and then, you know, standing there and singing the anthem together. So when that day hopefully comes, it will be amazing.
And can you give us a little insight into any of the inner sanctum stuff about the group in Darwin? I mean, it's probably your first official time away as a Hockeyroos player. Who are you rooming with? Have there been any good little antics, quirks?
Yeah, fully. So I'm rooming with Chucky, and she is
Who's
absolutely.
Chucky for those who don't know?
Oh, for those, it's Brooke Paris. So it's been awesome. She's obviously from NT, which makes life really easy for me. And so she's got all her family here. They support us all at the trainings and games, which is great. And yeah, I guess there's, you know, a lot of people who are really into music, and there's a lot of people who are very, you know, just like their own company before games. So it's really interesting learning about all of those kind of things that I didn't really know before I got here.
Has Brooke given you any sort of Northern Territory jargon or anything that you can sort of help you out with the locals, or?
Oh no, I'm learning a lot about Indigenous culture, which is great, and the dot painting and things like that. So there's a lot of art. I'm not much of an artist, but there's a
Yep.
lot that I'm learning around that.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule there and to have a chat with us. It's yeah, it's great to be able to catch up with you, and I presume we could probably just sit and have a cup of tea for ages and wax lyrical. So I really appreciate you giving us some of your time, and yeah, all the best for a really full on but exciting couple of months coming up.
Thanks so much, Nick. I really appreciate it.
And for everyone watching this, thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed catching up with Meg. And you're on Instagram, Meg? I don't know if you've got a private or public group or
Yeah,
whatever. Or
it's just
how
Meg
can people
C
follow
Pierce.
you?
Yeah, it's just Meg C Pierce. So yeah,
Right,
that would be awesome.
get around it. Keep an eye out for what's coming up next on Hockey Gold. But yeah, that was Meg Pierce, and yeah, we look forward to seeing her out there in the green and gold soon. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Meg.
Thank you.